glad it was a 40-minute game in this one because we did not finish it strong or the right way, but we did it the right way for the majority of it, 30, 33 minutes, 31 minutes, whatever.
Coach, it seemed like you guys were really attacking that short corner baseline.
Yep.
Is that something that was...
Yeah, I mean, we run hard offense, and we just try to take what the defense gives us. They do a good job. Sometimes they were tagging it, tried to get to the elbows, and then when they'd shortcut, okay, we just read the situation, and then you have to be ready. It sounds strange, but I kept saying to guys, I want you to be really patient and really aggressive. That's what I said. I go, you got to break them down, you got to move the ball, but you got to be aggressive at the right time. You got to find that sweet spot in this game offensively because, you know, you don't want to shoot real quick if you don't have a great look. But, boy, when they go over and if we can read it and get it, then you got to make the play aggressively. And I thought for the majority of the game, that was we were right in that sweet spot. You know, aggressive but not out of control, patient but not passive or hesitant. And again, that's really important. And they work defensively. They'll mix up. You don't know if it's zone or man half the time. But we did slide our screens up and we got some action on the baseline. And then when they didn't, we got it to the elbow. So it's just sort of a counter either way.
Doug, then Jeff.
If I'm reading it correctly, Bomedy had 8 points and 4 rebounds in 15 minutes. Also hit the 2 free throws.
Yes.
What can you say about his?
Yeah, I thought, you know, Kyle and Mamadi did a good job finishing at Cal, and I thought they did a nice job. I think Mamadi, a couple of plays that just were huge for us is he used his athleticism to trap the ball screen in the first half, and you know, we got some turnovers, and then we got some transition buckets off that. He really is so quick with that, and making the free throws was huge. Stole the ball in the alley-oop, and, you know, you can see that our young guys, they're still figuring it out, but they're coming, and that's big. And he gives us a level of athleticism and pop that we don't have. He's by far our most athletic guy. But, again, you look at just the stat sheet, it looks like you know, it's so balanced in so many ways.
Jeff, and then Greg.
Kyle hit that big baseline jump shot.
Yep.
Things were getting a little tense. How did he do defensively tonight?
He worked. I mean, all those guys are getting better. They're working a couple times. I think they shot over him. But I just thought at the end we needed someone. We're going to need to make a basket or two to preserve that lead. And that was a pretty tough shot that he hit. They defended that well. That was the baseline screen you'd asked about. But they defended it well. They were right up in him. But he worked hard. Ty gave us a nice lift again. Again, Marielle, they did. But you got to – I always get asked, well, who's going to make the play for you down the stretch? Who do you have that can go get a bucket? And, you know, Kyle's done that a couple games now late, and hopefully it'll be other guys at the right times. And Devin Hall played well. Nobody's asked me about him, but he had a real nice game.
Take one in the back.
Tony, about Kyle, is it unusual for you to have a freshman kind of be that guy? He's kind of emerging as that guy you want the ball in his hand play.
Yeah, I mean, you know, London was in a way like that. He's a point guard. But Klay Thompson was one of those guys when I coached him that I didn't mind the ball in his hand at Washington State. But it's just, I think we have such an unselfish team. Their unity and their unselfishness is a thing of beauty when they're right, the way they help each other defensively and move the ball. And, yeah, you want guys, I guess it's getting to that. You want them to be aggressive with soundness. He drove and took that tough shot, and he said, my bad on that. I like that. He understands that. But you got to have that aggressiveness. And, you know, we were fortunate over the last few years to have some pretty good guys to draw a foul, make a play. The game comes down to that in late games, who can go and get themselves a bucket. Hopefully the offense manufactures it, but you have to be able to sometimes just jump up and get one.
Take a couple more. Doug.
You previously had some success in this building. Does that help at all coming in to game?
I don't know. I mean, you know, we got so many new guys that haven't played, you know, that kind of role in this. They were coming off of a terrific win, and, you know, we knew we couldn't play them the way Kentucky played them. We had to try to, again, make them go against our set defense. And, you know, I think our guys, they knew they'd have to play at a high level to just be competitive with them. And if they did that, then they'd have a chance to be successful, and that's all I ever ask from them.
I think London said after the Cal game that they took some lessons applied at the West Virginia game and used them late in the game against Cal. Do you feel like your guys used some of that today when they were pressing and you had Ty in there who played some minutes against West Virginia?
Yep.
Is that a sign of your team learning a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, again, we weren't great down the stretch, but I think so. Again, Kyle made the shot. We made 2 free throws. So the only way you can learn is to be in those spots. You know, you can try to practice situations, but you're in the spots, and it reveals things. And, you know, again, we could go with any of those 10 could be on the floor. They're all capable. You just have to pick the right guys.
Okay. assessment?
Along similar lines, these are two really good road wins in a row for you guys. How much do you feel like this team has grown in just the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We played a solid schedule, but we went into Cal, and they're real good at home. They had won 26 or 7 in a row, hostile environment, and then we knew. And when you come off a huge win like the Kentucky one here, there's always a danger in maybe just being a little flat, different games. So it was important for us just to be ready and say they've got to earn everything they get. We play our game, and we'll accept the outcome, whatever that is. But I think it's not going to make us overconfident. It better not. It's just keep being who we are, keep trying to find ways to tighten the screws and get better. And you just look around the ACC. Now we play Florida State next. So there you go. It's just it's a deep, athletic, talented league.